All right, this is Curtis Self with MoreDailySports.com here with Coach Billy Kennedy at Northmore Mustangs Baseball. Coach, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
So how have workouts and practices been going so far?
Workouts and practices all through the off-season workouts. We've had a bunch of young guys out here. Obviously, 1A high school, we share a lot of our players. So, with basketball ending up finishing up on Monday, we just got all the basketball boys out. So, really hadn't had a real good feel for the varsity level, but got a lot of younger guys, ninth and 10th graders, that have been coming out here and getting a lot of work in, which is promising for the future.
All right, recap a little bit about last year. Coming off historic season, state runners up. What is the mood of the players so far?
I mean, we still all kind of riding that wave, you know. We just put one of our signs up that our fundraiser sponsor sent. You know, we put it over there coming into the dugout just as a daily reminder when they come into this to the field. Just what can happen when you have a team that plays together and plays for each other and the chemistry's right. But as far as taking that into this year, I mean, I think we'd be foolish to approach this season any different than we did last year. So we talked yesterday. It's just a one game at a time. And see what happens. We play in a predominantly 2A conference with just two other 1A teams in our conference. So we're just hoping that that 2A play gives us good competition and prepares us. The name of the game now is win today, but we're trying to make the playoffs. And come playoff time, anything can happen. So
Right.
that's kind of what we're using as motivation.
All right. You lost several seniors last season. How will that impact the team this year?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, when you have, I mean, every year I've been here, the next year I lose a good group of seniors, and um, last year's seniors, I mean, like I tell everybody when I look out, you will not be replaced, and we just hope that what they do here leaves a mark on the program and continues to help the program grow. And so we've challenged these seniors this year, hey, look what the guys before you have done, and leave your mark. That's what helps us coaches build good programs is what they do and their leadership. But I think it'd be foolish for me to say anything other than the fact, we lost a good senior class. We lost pretty much our whole pitching staff. I think we had one other player that had an adequate amount of innings on the mound last year, and so that class last year, that's going to be a tough class to replace. But we feel confident with the juniors that were from last year that are now seniors that they're ready for the challenge, step up, and take leadership control, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Do you have players from last year's JV team that's moving up? Do you have the players to fill those roles
Yeah,
of those loss?
yeah. We got 10 varsity players as of right now. It's predominantly senior juniors with two sophomores mixed in, and we challenge these younger guys too. That hey, look around, you see that there's 10 varsity guys right now, and projected to be 15 JV guys. So I mean, we're one injury away from having to cherry pick the JV team, and so
Yeah.
every day is a challenge and competition for those guys right there. And I think there's some out there that can come up and help as needed as well. So.
Now, going as far as you guys did last year, I know, it's hard to say that that team is this year's team will be exactly like that team. I know the teams change year to year, but how similar is this team this year compared to last year?
Well, I think the one big similarity between the two teams is the fact that they like each other. I mean, the locker room, the chemistry is going to be the same. You're not going to really have any competing egos, and with baseball, that's rare. It just is what it is. I think the team chemistry will be spot on. You know, last year was my fourth year as a varsity head coach, and so you know those guys that are coming up, you just don't have to reteach the same things over and over, and you just allow those older guys to kind of help, breathe some of that through the program. But I think where we were very, very, very infield strong last year with the seniors. Obviously, those guys are gone, so that's going to kind of be the point of emphasis as we continue to work to prep. But our outfield potentially could be all returning seniors, and so I think I think very similar to last year, other than pitching, we'll have a lot of strong points, just not necessarily the same as they were last year.
Got you. Um, Are there any certain players you're looking to step up and help lead this team this year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got Austin Patterson, who played last year. I don't know if a lot of people really know. If you're closely knitted, I mean, he played the entire season last year with a torn labrum, and just manned up and filled in here and there. And we tried to put him in the best scenario for him to be successful. And I mean, he really helped us. I mean, he swung the bat well, and so I mean, he underwent surgery, and he since went back and had it rechecked. Thought he was having some issues, but everything's checked out clear. So I think it's a mental thing for him right now, is that hey, I'm good to go, and so I. He's been playing basketball, and so he's come out eager, ready to go. So we're hoping that his arm progresses, because we're looking for him to lock down shortstop. I mean, honestly, I don't even know that he'll toe the rubber at all this year. And obviously, you got Fur coming back, who was All-State player last year, and just, I mean, he had a year hitting the baseball last year, and he moved into a spot in outfield he had caught, his whole career here through JV, and so when Massey came in, we moved Elliott to the outfield, and he just settled in that spot, and he's hitting the baseball. Obviously, we got Will Kennedy, who played center field all last year, and he's been in the weight room hard this winter, and so he's put on a little mass and picked up a lot of power. But I think where he has impressed me the most in the scrimmage was his ability on the mound. I mean, he threw pretty well. I don't think he'll be a 106 guy. I think I think about two and a half times through the lineup, we're going to have to get him out and get somebody else in there. But really looking for him to show off with that big bat this year. And we know what he gives us in the outfield. I mean, he gives us a chance to make good plays, just look routine. So. I can't leave Massey and Futrell out. Dalton Massey came in last year as a sophomore and just took over the catcher's position. I mean, his arm, he's just got a plus arm. And, the one thing I think he struggled with last year was confidence at the plate. A lot of time one-on-one with him this fall, and his swing is coming around. So I'm really looking for him to jump those offensive stats as far to go right alongside with what we know he gives us behind the plate. And then Dawson Futrell, the big boy. Every time I think of him, all I can think about is the ball he hit up there at Voyager last year. To really seal that deal.
Yeah.
But hey, he's a year mature mentally. He's going to be bigger. He's going to be stronger, and he's going to lock down that first base side. And he's probably going to hit right in the middle of that lineup. So, and look to see him as we get him ready. He's going to be one of the mainstays in our pitching staff as well. I really don't want to leave anybody out. Another guy to look out for in the pitching and what's promising in the pitching is Aiden Corfus. He's a junior. He played JV last year. He's pitched a lot on the JV level. Got a lot of minor tweaks and stuff. We've been working with him, but I think that he has a big opportunity to be one of the top guys on the mound, and he's going to play a little third base for us this year too. And then Nate Dyer, the other senior. Nate Dyer was hurt a lot last year, and he was kind of more of a role player. But been very, very, very impressed with what he's brought since day one this year. And so, I mean, like I told him the other day, hey, I'm looking at you to lock down left field, and just don't do nothing spectacular offensively. Just keep us in the mix. Give us a chance. So.
This is y'all's first year with the expanded conference. 2 new teams were added to the conference this year. Well, what are your thoughts on those 2 new teams?
Well, I'll start with Northwood because our former JV coach, who was one of my first hires here, Kyle Robinson, is now the head coach over there. So got mixed emotions with that because I want nothing but the best for him. But come Tuesday, I mean, I know he wouldn't sit here. Come Tuesday, he's going to be my biggest competitor, and I'm going to be his biggest competitor. And we'll see what happens. And after the game, we're going to go back to being buddies again. But I think there are a lot of potential there. They're young, and I don't know for sure, but I know they lost probably 6 or 7 one-run ball games last year, with as young as they were last year. So I mean, I think they're going to be real tough. I think they're contenders in this conference, and so they definitely be a team that people in our conference definitely don't need to sleep on. And As far as Southeast Alamance, I hadn't heard a whole lot about them. I've met their coach during volleyball season. Great guy. He talks like they're going to be really, really good. We have heard that maybe they got a lefty plus arm that brings it pretty good. So, you know, you got a kid that's potentially throwing high 8s, low 9s, something we haven't seen in this conference in a while. So, you know, I don't know that for sure, but that's what we've heard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think both of them will come in, you know, hungry, looking to make their way in this conference and let people know that they're here. So.
And your first game is Tuesday night. Is that going to be here?
That'll be here, yes.
What time is that?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.